Welcome back. This is Delilahs Spiritual Spot. I am Delilah Rose, and welcome back to my podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about some tarot decks that I have, some new ones. I'm also videotaping this, so if you're interested, you can go over and watch this on YouTube, and it'll be saved under the podcast album. So we're going to get started with some of the decks that I received today. The first one is the Chakra Wisdom Tarot, and it's by Tori Hartman. Now, I got this in a subscription box called Awakening in the Box. It's a really interesting subscription box. They have several that you can choose from. I chose to do the Oracle and Tarot selection, and it costs $55 US. I also got a crystal in the box. I got some incense, and yeah, so I will show the little quartz cluster I got for the YouTubers. But it's a really nice quartz cluster point. There's also a twin in the back, and I absolutely love it. I'm also a crystal collector, and maybe one day I'll show my crystal spread here. So this is the Chakra Tarot. Now, I love that it's rainbow, right? So it's all the chakra colors in corresponding cards. And they did something a little bit different. They separated the cards based on what chakra it relates to versus in order, like major arcana, minor arcana, cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. They separated it out versus chakra. So if it's the Ace of Cups, it is a red chakra. So I mean, I find that very interesting. The artwork on it is beautiful, very detailed, very thought-provoking images, and I absolutely love it. So that is on my table in what I'm calling Tarotopia, right? So this is my Tarotopia. So next I'm going to pull the corresponding Chakra Oracle deck. It's also separated by chakra. It has a nice chunky guidebook, and there's a lot of detail and explanations in it. You can see many walkthroughs on this particular deck. It's very popular. It's also by Tori Hartman, and it's illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And as Oracle decks go, they have the keyword plus a depiction. I mean, we have completion here, right? So on this completion card, they're showing a lady kneeling at a gravesite, and she's remembering her loved one who passed away. There's also the sun rising behind her. So, like, she is not alone. Her loved one is still with her in spirit and is being guided by the divine. I mean, the depiction on this card, it says a lot. So depending on your reading or whatever intuition tells you, you can give someone, that they've completed this cycle, or you can say, your loved one has transitioned over. There's many different avenues you can walk down with some of these cards. We do have keywords like miracle, enlightenment, joy, prayer, dissipating, facade, abundance, victim, I like that, gossip, perception, growth, grief, trickery, and it just goes on and on. I like bittersweet. I like the workaholic card. There's some keywords here that you don't really see. Despondence, I like that. Let's see what else that's different that I haven't seen. Impartiality, which is kind of a balanced card, but I like that term. Let's see, anything else that's pretty different. Complacency, I like that too. Service, also very good. It is kind of reminiscent of, for some reason, it takes me to my Zen tarot deck. In terms of not so much the artwork, but I don't know if it's the colors or the the artwork itself that reminds me. There's something that triggers me into thinking about this other deck. But I love this chakra deck. You know, I love that I'm gonna be able to use those in concert. They should be easy to read together. You know, sometimes you get these decks and it doesn't resonate with you, and it's until you work with them. Really haven't worked with it, but I feel like I'm gonna love working with them. Next is the Ophida Rosa deck, Rosa Tarot by Layla and Olive. This was actually gifted to me by a very good friend of mine, Morgan, and you guys know her. I love the artwork on this. It's a floral deck, right? But believe it or not, some of these floral depictions do kind of explain what the cards are. So it's important, especially if you're a newbie. This wouldn't be the deck I would start with. I mean, some people may be able to pick this up and start with it. I have a real difficulty connecting with floral decks or herbology, but this deck immediately calls to me. I feel immediately bonded. It has gold gilding on the side, snake background. There's just something about this deck that I felt an immediate connection with. And you know, you'll find that out as you go along, or if you are a collector like I am, because I'm also a tarot card reader and a collector, which most of us are. You'll understand what that instant connection is. It's something that you cannot describe. I also got the Star Child Tarot. Now, a lot of these decks, okay, I'm not gonna lie, 4 out of the 5 are new. This one was a used deck, but I don't think the person connected to this deck well because it looks brand new. The bend you see in it is me using this deck, and I got it to read with my Moonchild deck. Actually, I should take that out. So I got it to read or to clarify when I read with the Moonchild deck. And you can see the artwork, something about the muted pastel-y colors, the way she's balancing this 8 of crystals. You know, there's just something about this deck that really speaks to me on a spiritual level. I've had it, I want to say for a month now, but I really, really love the deck. And you can see with it's side by side by the Moonchild. I mean, this deck is obviously smaller. This is more oracle sized, and I actually prefer the smaller size because of my hands. But you can see how well these will work together in terms of color scheme, in terms of art depiction. If you can look some of these decks up, if you're not going to watch this podcast on YouTube, so you could really see what I'm talking about when I discuss these decks. I have universal decks. I feel like I will use the Moonchild and the Star Child when people are requesting a spiritual journey, a message from their spirit guides or ancestors. I feel like these are the decks that will be used for that information. I do have decks that are just collectors. I rarely shuffle or read with them. I won't go over them at this time, but I will let you know. Also a new deck here is the Star Spinner Tarot. This deck has been out for a while. I've eyeballed this deck, and I've gone back and forth about purchasing it, ordering it. I don't know why. I don't know why I waited so long. The deck is lovely. It's a lovely, lovely deck. The artwork, let's just take you through some of it. Here's the Fool card. Here's the Magician. the Nine of Cups, or the Nine of Chalices, as they call it. The Strength card they call Fortitude. It's that there's something ethereal. There's also something vaguely, I don't want to say religious about it, but like this card here gives me Catholic stained glass type of vibe, and I dig that. Like, I'm not offended by it. I love it. It is a diverse deck, which I also love. I am a person of color, so it's important to me to have representation, but I'm not a stickler for that either. Like, if a deck calls to me, it calls to me. I'm not necessarily looking for a deck with diversity. It just happens to be a nice touch when it has diversity in it. I'll give you an example of a collector's deck that I have that I rarely read from. It's actually good for beginners. So let's just pull this out. This is going to be mass marketed, but this is a Kickstarter deck or an Etsy deck. I don't know. This was a gift from a relative of mine. They found it on Etsy. It was a Kickstarter, and it is a numbered deck. So it is a collector's deck. This is not mass market. It's the Simplicity Tarot by Emily Munoz. I've read with this deck. I've pulled it out on occasion because it's, I mean, let's just take a gander at the beauty of this deck. I hope I stay in frame here because I'm really not watching what I'm recording, guys. But it's a great beginner deck. It is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. And everyone should familiarize themselves with that deck, because a lot of decks, even though they're modern and there's a modern take, is a throwback. It's reminiscent of that deck. So you can see it has keywords here. So the Eight of Wands, acceleration and movement. So it is a great beginner's deck. I like reading with it. I read with it easy. I don't always use the keywords. The keywords are nice, but sometimes when you see a card and you're very intuitive, I happen to be intuitive, there's something that happens with the card, right? I may look at this card and be like, oh, they're celebrating. Or I can look at this card based on the other cards and be like, I don't know, but you know, groups and clicking may not always be a good thing. Is this really celebration, or is this gossip and being happy over someone's downfall? It's one of those things that, you know, as you become a more intuitive reader, you rely less on the traditional readings. You still rely on them, don't get me wrong, but it's important that you bring in your own intuition based on the person you're reading for, the vibe you're picking up. Whoops. The vibe you're picking up, and what spirit is telling you. I have the Modern Witch Tarot. I also have the mini version of this deck, which was gifted to me by the same person, Morgan. We tend to gift each other decks, so that's my tarot friend, and we just shuffle decks back and forth. If something doesn't resonate with me, I pass it along to her, if she, and you know, to see if she enjoys it. If not, then I'll sell them. And there's plenty of people who sell and trade decks. Lots of Facebook groups, lots of websites, and then traditional websites like an eBay. But we see here the Lover's card, the Page of Pentacles. This is by Liminal 11. I'm obsessed with this production company. I just like what they're doing. The decks are they're kind of stiff. It's a very good quality paper. It is satiny, so it has great slip. The packaging is just awesome. Most of their packaging comes like this. I have 2 of their decks. The rest, I have them all on pre-order. So there's like 3 or 4 more decks that are on pre-order, and you guys might want to check them out. I love how they're doing their guidebooks. It's hardcover, and it's just very cute. So again, if you don't watch my podcast on YouTube, you might want to look this up. So I am talking about the Modern Witch Tarot by Liminal 11. And trust me, guys, you want to take a look at it. You definitely want to check them out. So we'll put that away. And I have another deck, but I think I want to knock this camera down. I think I may have that in my, because I was reading with it, so I think that may be in my travel bag, which I'm not going to get at this time. I'm going to record these. So if you're interested in learning tarot, I do have a Delilahs Spiritual Spot tarot study guide. In it, I tell you a little bit about myself. I tell you the meanings of the cards, obviously. Also, I give you a quick tarot numerology guide where the numbers give you the definitions of the cards. And then it gives you the suits like cups, water, emotions, creativity, intuition, relationships, pentacles, material wealth, money, career, manifestation, swords, communication, truth, intellect, thoughts, anxieties, wands, fire, ideas, energy, passions. So, I mean, it's very helpful to know some of these things. I also give you the tarot and astrological correspondence cards. So because astrology and tarot really go hand in hand, I also give you a couple of spreads here, 3 spreads, and then we'll get in the way the journal looks. So I give you the card depiction, and then I give you space so that you can journal and come up with your own thoughts based on the keywords, but letting your intuition guide you in terms of knowing what these meanings are. This is on my website, DelilahsSpiritualSpot.com. For the journal, you hit the journal short key, it takes you to Amazon, or if you hit Delilah's shop, you go to my Metaphysical shop where you could buy candles, cards, crystals, amulets, spell kits. I have over 4,000 products, so you will be okay. Oh, wait a minute, here's something new. So I said I wasn't going to purchase many oracle decks because, you know, sometimes oracle cards don't always call to me, but I still have 30-ish oracle cards, and I have like another 30-ish tarot cards. So I'm not showing you my whole selection here. But this man right here, Matt Hughes, he does the Ethereal Visions tarot cards, which I have. He's also done this Dreamscape tarot, obviously an oracle deck, and his artwork, let's just talk about it. His artwork is amazing. The beauty of these cards and the way he's drawn these figures is just awe-inspiring. I will probably purchase everything he produces. I actually have pre-ordered his Luna tarot deck, which is based on the ethereal deck, but showing more diversity, and I dig that. I think, look at the crone. She's just so full of knowledge, wisdom, power, strength, spirituality. You can just see that in this depiction. Ancient spirit, memory. She has that forlorn look on her. You know, that memory may be a little painful, but it gives her something deep to think about. Silence. I love that we have the skull here, because what is this person silent about? Are they silent about their abuses? Are they silent because someone silenced them? Are they silent because sometimes it's better to hold your tongue? Why are they silent? And I find that his artwork lends itself to that imagination. Yeah, so that's Matt Hughes. I'm a big fan. I actually almost had a conniption when I thought I couldn't get that. I'll show you one other deck because I have a little time in my recording here. It's the Urban Crow Tarot. It's not new, it's fairly new. I think I got it within the last 3 months. It's by MJ Cullinan. She also does the Crow Tarot, which I have. I also have Guardian of the Night Tarot. And also it's based on birds and crows in particular. But you know, these cards are nice too. Distraction. This cat is distraction. We actually have a bird eating this food. Like, what's causing you distraction, and is it purposely done so that it throws you off your game? I mean, this deck also, even using birds as the depiction, speaks volume. Caching. Here we go, planting that seed. Are they planting that seed, or are they extracting that seed? Can always go by the keywords. I mean, the keywords are important. They're helpful, but really draw yourself into some of these artwork pieces, because you can get so much from this card, so much intuition in a picture, right? I love it. So what did I say I was calling this? Tarotopia? So thank you for joining me. This is just a quick podcast to update you on what's on my table. My Tarotopia, my happy place, and I'll talk to you guys next time. This is Delilah from Delilahs Spiritual Spot. When you have an opportunity, please follow me on Instagram. It's at Delilah Rose 622. I'm also on Facebook under that handle. TikTok, Delilah Rose 622 as well. And YouTube, Delilahs Spiritual Spot. And you can find this podcast on Anchor, on Spotify, on Apple. I'm pretty much on all the podcasting sites. So thank you for joining me. Again, I don't know what the next episode will be. I probably will record a new series that I've already uploaded, where I interview villains, fictional villains, using tarot. So I've already uploaded one episode on YouTube, and I may do like a podcast / YouTube for that as well, because it just makes better sense, and it allows me to record at simultaneously, and so it takes less time for me doing other projects. So again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you or speak to you next time.